So hello again, YouTube. It is evening where I am at, and I wanted to make a real quick video about what I just saw within this ABC News coverage story from their YouTube page, covering Amanda Bynes and how she is kind of doing like a comeback, which she's kind of been already starting for the past couple of months, but now she's like starting to get real headway with it. She's been doing interviews and things like that. So I kind of just wanted to show a few things that I saw within it, because honestly, it was a little upsetting. I myself am a person who believes that marijuana should be something that is legalized for recreational, medical, all kinds of purposes. I know that the government is holding us back from that, and of course it's always at a, it's at a state level for the most part. I live in a state where we are close to it, maybe within the next 5 or 10 years. I highly doubt it would be legalized for anything other than extreme medical purposes, which I think it is at this point. But other than that, it's still something that you can go to jail for and be arrested for and all of that. So I definitely support decriminalization and recreational use. So with that being said, this first part of this video really just made my skin crawl because, well, let me just show you and then I will comment further.
And now to our GMA cover story, that revealing new interview with Amanda Bynes, the actress opening up for the first time about the breakdown that forced her to step away from the public eye. And what was behind it? Paula Ferris is back with the story. Hey, Paula.
Hey there, Michael. Good morning, everyone. Bynes said that everyone thought she was the good girl, but at a very early age, she started experimenting with marijuana, which then led to a dark road of drugs and depression. But today, Amanda Bynes is sober, and she's saying she's sorry. Former child star Amanda Bynes breaking her silence overnight, sharing her struggles with depression, drug use, and sobriety. Bynes opening up to Paper magazine, saying she began using marijuana at the age of 16, and that later on it progressed to doing Molly and ecstasy. She would go on to experiment with other drugs like cocaine and Adderall.
You can't stop the river rising.
Her use of Adderall pills was around the time she was starring in the hit musical Hairspray. The 32-year-old telling the magazine that, quote, "I definitely abused Adderall," even sharing that during the filming of a separate movie, she would be in her trailer chewing on the tablets because she thought they made her more high that way.
She really attributes some of what happened and changes in her behavior and personality.
Pause for a moment, because this is the person who apparently is representing Paper magazine at this point, and in my own knowledge, I know that Amanda Bynes is transgender, so she, by all appearances, appears to have been born a male and was transitioned into a woman, because that's what they do. This is a whole network of people. Well, obviously, this person is also part of the network of people, because look how she looks like a man. That is a man. We are seeing a man right here, who is obviously in makeup and has the hair done a certain way. One thing that I think, look at the throat. The throat is very bulging, like a male's would be. One thing that we can see from these people is that they use really good voice coaches to hide the fact that their voices are naturally either feminine or male. So there is such a thing as altering your voice and how you sound. So with that being said, let's just continue.
To the drug usage as it escalated and became, a much more serious issue.
Hey, what's up? I'm Sebastian.
Bynes goes on to share her reaction to seeing herself in some of her biggest movies. After watching her performance in She's the Man, she says she went into a deep depression for 4 to 6 months because I didn't like how I looked when I was a boy. And after her work in Easy A, the actress says, I saw it and I was convinced that I should never be on camera again, and I officially retired on Twitter, adding,
That is very telling. That's very telling that she went into months of depression because she didn't like how she looked as the opposite gender. That seems a little psychological to me. I don't know her story. I don't know her situation in depth, like none of us do. Not even these people who interview her, or ABC. None of them knows how exactly it went down for her. So for her to say that and publicize that is very, that's very alarming.
was high, and I was like, you know what? I am so over this, so I just did it. But it was really foolish, and I see that now. I was young and stupid. It was during her self-imposed exile from Hollywood that Bynes says she felt adrift. I got really into my drug usage, and it became a really dark, sad world for me. I was just stuck at home, getting high, watching TV, and tweeting. She adds, everything I worked my whole life to achieve, I kind of ruined it all through Twitter. Bynes now says that she's ashamed and embarrassed by the controversial things that she said on Twitter, and that she's been sober for almost 4 years.
This is sort of her wanting to tell her story, kind of close a chapter that was difficult, move on, and start the next.
I just wanted to point out really quickly her body in this shot, her chest going down to the hips is very narrow. She has a lot of spacing between her breasts, which also looks like it's an appearance, obviously, so she's going to have makeup on and everything done. So, they probably contoured the breast area, but also her shoulders are extremely wide in this shot. She has a pretty distinct jaw and facial structures that, for me, I see as male. In certain pictures it's easier to see, in some pictures it's harder to see. This is a business. This is fooling millions of people. So just wanted to point that out really quickly.
Days of her life and career.
For Bynes, this next chapter is one she's optimistic about. I have no fear of the future, she says, because she's been through the worst and came out the other end and survived it. It's only up from here.
She is now going to fashion school and wants to get back into acting the same way that she did as a kid, with excitement and hope for the best. She doesn't want to limit herself. What a platform she has. She can say, I had it all. I allowed substance abuse to ruin it. Here's how you can avoid those pitfalls.
Yeah, but she said I ruined it with Twitter, but she didn't blame Twitter. She blamed herself. She said, I put it out there. It was my fault, not the fault of Twitter.
She's taking full responsibility for her actions, and again, big sorry. And there's power in vulnerability. This is going to help a lot of people.
Yeah, great article. I enjoyed reading it. Thank you so much, Paul.
So earlier in the clip, I kind of moved past it pretty quickly, but they kind of mock the marijuana usage, and they kind of they really emphasize that she started that before everything else. And obviously these are her words, so obviously there's truth to what she's saying, hopefully, and she's being truthful about this and honest. Who knows? I don't know. But they kind of I don't know how to describe it. It's like they're pushing that idea that marijuana is this gateway drug that leads to all these other things. And honestly, if all you're doing is smoking marijuana, I don't think that you're doing that horribly, honestly. Aside from anything else you're doing along with that, if you're just doing that, I really do not see the harm in it, other than if you neglect your whole life, or you make bad choices on your own. But I would not contribute that solely to marijuana. Not the way you would, prescription drugs and alcohol, where they, it alters a different part of your brain. It sends chemicals to different part of your brain. So it's going to affect different parts. It's not the same. It's just not the same at all. So, the way we saw Amanda Bynes previously, and how her mental breakdown, all of her stuff, I'm sure you've seen it. That was a lot, and I don't see that as being induced from marijuana. So, and another thing also is, I just wanted to point out, I don't trust these people as far as any of us could throw them. This woman person right here, whatever she is, this is a male. So look at the wide, strong neck, wide ass, jaw, huge, deep set eyes, prominent brow ridge, which is the bone area above the eyes. It's not flat. It's bulging over her eyelids, if you can see that. They contour it, obviously, with makeup and stuff to reduce the emphasis on it. But she also has very wide shoulders. I'm sure breast implants, the same as all of these celebrities that are transitioned into females. But yeah, I wanted to show that. And you can also see in Amanda Bynes' face, her face now, that she looks different. She doesn't look the same that she did previously. And that's what hormones and testosterone and everything else that they pump into their systems, this is the result of it. It does alter their bodies. That's why you're seeing these celebrities look different only a couple years after the fact. It's because their bodies are being just pumped full of chemicals. So we also get a little bit of color symbolism within this this interview here also, because they have this person in blue. Everything in the background was also blue, if you didn't happen to notice. I don't know how far. I need to go back. I'm sorry. But yeah, everything in the shot was blue. Her shirt's blue. But yet we see Amanda in the red up there in the corner, which I'm sorry. I jumped away from it. I apologize. Kind of lost my spot here. Okay, there it is. I'm not going to even talk about what's his name right here. I'm not even going to mention anything about him, but yeah, this is what we're seeing. This is the illusion. Okay, this is what they're trying to implement to us. Even with the paper magazine, that paper, which as you can see, the label paper is in blue, and the ground which Amanda has her feet on is red. So yeah, you know, I looked up to Amanda Bynes. I really did. Whenever I was younger, my teenage years, which I'm only 27, so I'm not that old. Not that anyone at that age is old or over that is older. I'm not going to specify what old is, but I remember loving Amanda Bynes' movies and feeling so connected to her because we had similar features to each other, and I just felt very, I felt like she was very down to earth. I really liked her, and I really respected her. I don't know if I do anymore, but yeah, I just wanted to share that. So, thank you.